you know it's time. IAfootball is back, and we've got you covered with everything from the biggest hits to the biggest runs, from in-game highlights to post-game breakdown.
We are here talking any and all high school football.
From day one all the way to the dome, we've got you covered at IAfootball.
Well, the time has come. It's Monday, August 18th. We are about a week and a half away from week one of the Iowa high school football season. And it's time. IAfootball preseason rankings are here. The top 16 teams in each class, our rankers, have been working hard. We've got our preseason rankings. We know how difficult preseason rankings are, but we've got them, and it's a fun sign that we're talking high school football this time of year. Got Nick Fox alongside me. As always, we're excited to get these episodes coming more frequently as we get into the season. Nick, I guess, what are you excited for in terms of this ranking reveal show?
Yeah, I'm excited to see just kind of the new teams that we're going to be looking at. I mean, obviously, you're going to have your consistent teams that kind of show up in the rankings every year, but I'm looking forward to see who the rankers thought are going to be like the new teams that are going to compete for playoff spots and titles this season.
Yeah, no doubt. There's always that one really good class at a school that, isn't always great at football, but, there's always those teams that are really exciting and fun to watch. And I feel like we have some of those this year. Before we do get into the polls, we'll start with Class 5A. But before we get to that, huge news. We are excited to launch something. I don't think anyone has ever done this. If a media outlet has done this in Iowa, please let me know so I can give them some love, because this is, I think, really cool. And I'm going to claim it as we're doing it, and we're the only ones to do it until I hear otherwise. The ultimate rankings. So if your team is not inside our top 16, do not fret. We are ranking each class down to its exact number. We're going to try and do this every single week. We plan on getting this a weekly pull out. Again, this will be on Rockfin for our subscribers. Rockfin is the number one way you can support IAfootball and what we do, what Nick and I are doing, all our photographers, all our videographers, all our rankers. Number one way you can support us. So we're excited to rank these teams down to their exact number. Off the top, I think it was 69 8-man teams, and then about 50-ish A, and then 48 in 1A, 48 in 2A, and then 36 in 3A, 4A, 5A. So you're going to know who's number 24 and who's number 35. Like, it's really cool. Our rankers have been working hard on this, and we're excited for this to drop on Wednesday. We're also going to be dropping on Rockfin every Friday, or before every Friday, our rankers picks for the week. So every single game is going to have a rankers pick behind it. Okay, so that is also going to be on Rockfin for our subscribers every single week. So those are two pieces of content every single week you're going to be able to bank on. Ultimate rankings, which I'm really excited for. I think that is so cool to be able to have a team with its exact number. And I think there's a lot of really good high school football teams in Iowa that don't get ranked on our polls. And now you're going to know how close you are to our polls. So again, I'm really excited to start this. Takes a lot of work, Nick, as you've seen our rankers kind of going at this, but I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, I was going to say the same thing. We can't cover every single team in the state, unfortunately, as much as we'd love to. And I think this is just a cool opportunity to have your team be seen and know how close or how far you are comparative to the rest of the class. So I think this is a great idea. I love it. I was a little scared. I was a little scared when you were messaging me about this idea, but I think this is a great idea, great concept. And I'm excited to see what it looks like towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I would say our preseason top 16 is always so difficult. So our preseason top 48 in these middle classes is going to be, it's going to be a crapshoot to start. But I mean, our rankers are doing their research. I mean, they're ranking these teams based on tiers and then ranking them again based on the other tiers. So, I mean, there's work being put into this. And I mean, I've been looking through them and they make sense. So, I mean, will it end like this? Likely not. But again, that's the beauty, is if you start low and you keep winning, guess what? You're going to see yourself go up every single week, because these are going to be updated. And I mean, at the end of the day, once we get to the end of the year, these are going to look about where they would be, on a regular poll. So that's super exciting. But anyways, you're not here for that. That's just my fun news I had to share. Let's get into it. Drum roll, please. If you've watched this from the beginning, it's a really cool time for my year. It's a lot of fun. But Class 5A, your top 16. This is how it's going to shake out. Right off the top on my head, Nick, I see Valley at 5. Obviously, this top 5 in 5A is never easy to sort out, but I like Valley right here. I think I'd be buying stock in Valley at number 5. Quarterback Drake DeGroote's back. You got Jaden McGregory. You got skill guys all over the place in Valley, and they're going to open up right away with Dowling Catholic. So even as a Valley Tiger fan, you don't think you've earned your spot at number 5, you're going to get a shot right away to prove that you are number 1. So, I mean, even if those Valley Tigers don't like that spot, you're going to get a shot to climb up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see losing a guy like Zay Robinson too, and how that team's going to adjust. I mean, Jaden McGregory is a heck of an athlete himself, and I think that that Valley team will be able to do great things. I'm a little bit disappointed I won't be in Des Moines area to cover that West Des Moines rivalry game, but yeah, I think Valley is a great spot. Team I'm kind of keeping my eye on here, kind of like I mentioned in the last show, is just seeing how Southeast Polk can respond. Um, Winning yet another state title. You lost some key guys in that team last year. And I think it'll just be interesting to see if they can do it again. I mean, last year was probably their most doubtful team. I mean, they wouldn't tell you that, but other folks that will follow Class 5A, once they hit 4 losses, there was a little bit shaky, but obviously we saw how that ended up. So I'll be interested to see how that team shakes out into this season and if they can keep their 5A title winning streak alive.
Yeah, no. Before we move on, got to give a shout out to Norwalk. I was able to go to their practice. I mean, they were great about having me, a team that moved up from 4A to 5A. But in doing so, they're bringing back some guys. You got your star quarterback back. You got Iowa commit Eli Robbins on the edge. You got Luke Brewer, who's obviously garnering a lot of next level interest at tight end as just a sophomore. So Norwalk could be a fun team. I think I like them at 14. I think that's giving them some love. So I like to see that. And yeah, I mean, as usual, 5A is going to move up and down pretty quickly just with how much ranked versus ranked action we get right away. Moving on to 4A, though, where our state champ, North Polk, drops down to number 11. I mean, that's a tough team, Nick, to preseason rank, and that's why preseason rankings are so difficult. Where do you put a state champ that loses so many guys? You lose Mr. IAfootball, you lose BJT. I mean, so many, not even off the top of my head, I mean, those are a lot of guys that you lose right away. So North Polk at number 11 is a team that kind of stands out. And how about Newton at number 2? And rightfully so. This team was tough last year. You bring back Caden Klein. You bring back a plateau of other skill guys as well. Newton is a scary team there, and they're going to be beating up on a lot of opponents, if I had to guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I was honestly surprised to see Newton up there because I had no idea that they were, that they were good like that. And the team that I'm going to be talking about here that I was also shocked by was Fort Dodge. It's a team that I feel like I personally didn't, the nicest way I can say it, didn't really pay attention to or talk about last season. And then you text me after watching their practice, like these guys are the real deal. And looking at their guys, like they got True McBride coming back after his sophomore season, throwing for over 1,500 yards. Obviously, that video that you made about Drayshawn Ross coming back, that's a huge addition. I mean, anytime you can get an athlete like that on your team, you're going to be better. So I'll be watching them. I'll be watching the Dodgers. Like I said, a team that I feel like I didn't really show love last year, and I'm definitely really excited to see how this squad can perform this season.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you look at Fort Dodge, I think an interesting thing, if you're talking that district, Nick, you got a team in Sergeant Bluff Luton that was a semifinalist last year in 3A, and now you're bumping up to 4A, and you're starting at preseason number 6. And those are two teams in the same district, Sergeant Bluff Luton, Fort Dodge. I believe the first week of district play, those two match up. So that one could mean a lot for playoff implications. So yeah, that's how 4A is shaking out. Obviously, a lot of stuff yet to change in the first few weeks, per usual. Moving on, though, to Class 3A. Again, brand new rankings. I mean, a lot to take in here, Nick. What's kind of your first thoughts when you see Class 3A?
My first thoughts here is, I mean, Harlan being in there at number 10 and hardly being ranked last season to my memory. And for good reason. I think Gabe Arkfeld comes back for his senior year. He threw for almost 2,000 passing yards last season as the Cyclones quarterback. And I think Arkfeld's had a really nice career out there, so it'll be fun to watch him in his senior season, what he can do. I just really like what this Harlan team comes back with in general. They had an okay year last year, but I'll definitely be watching for them to rise these rankings as the weeks go on. And honestly, this is definitely the team I'll be looking for. Like you said earlier with Valley, I would say that this would be the team that I would put my stock into when it comes to the 3A rankings.
Yeah, I think mine, if I had to look at one again, I saw them out of practice, so it's also kind of hard to take that out of consideration. But I really liked what I saw from Solon. Maddox Kelly is one of the better skill guys, I think, in the entire state. I don't know if he gets enough love. That dude's an X factor out on the edge. You got Eli Cameron at quarterback, who looks like a pure athlete. I like what they look like up front. I think they're super deep there. So I think Solon, although at 6, I mean, that's a preseason highly ranked team. I still think they have some room to move up, and they're going to get the shot to do so. But boy, 3A rankers, I mean, I feel like it's been a theme in the past few classes. Our rankers are giving the defending champs just bulletin board material right away. Wahlert Catholic, another team that's tough to preseason rank. I mean, they lose a lot. You lose Borman, you lose Schur, coming off a state title team. So I mean, there's your bulletin board material right away for Wahlert Catholic. They open up with a top 10 foe in Western Dubuque in Class 4A, so they're going to get a shot right away to prove exactly who they are. So that's a team I'm going to eye in those first few weeks to see how they move, whether it's up or down. Moving to Class 2A, I can tell you 2A is going to look way different. I mean, this is a class that lost a state champion, obviously West Lyon going down. Spirit Lake, they is a team that was in the Dome last year. They lose a ton of pieces. Van Meter, another team that loses a ton of pieces. It's going to be interesting here in 2A, Nick. What are you kind of seeing in this class, in this top 16?
Yeah, initially I'm looking at OABCIG here. They lose their quarterback, Bryson Kohler, another guy who almost had 2,000 passing yards last season. And you're thrown to a guy, Jax DeJean, who's one of the top prospects in the state of Iowa. So definitely going to be looking for who they're going to throw in there under center to be throwing to him. That's kind of what I'm looking at for the most part with OABCIG. Last season, ending in the second round against Hinton. All love to Hinton over there. Great squad. But that's kind of what I'm looking like here initially. I think this could be a team, if they get the right guy under center. Obviously, I'm going to assume it's a younger guy since they just graduated Kohler. I'll look for them to go into the top 10. Like you said, there's a lot of room for change here in these rankings. So that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, 2A is one where I think we're going to see a lot of changes right away. I think this 2A class was one that kind of got gutted last year. You lost a lot of really good seniors, and so this is one that's going to switch pretty quickly. But I like the stock our rankers putting into Central Lyon, Georgia Little Rock. That's a team that's had a lot of postseason success in the last few years. It didn't end the way they wanted to last year, but they're bringing a sophomore back at quarterback, a sophomore back as their leading rusher. Both those guys now juniors, and the defense is returning some key pieces too. So I think Central Lyon, Georgia Little Rock at number 4 is a good peg for our 2A ranker. I like them right there. But yeah, there's your Class 2A rankings. We will move on to Class 1A, where it doesn't get any easier. And in fact, this 1A top 7-ish is pretty stacked. Like this is a pretty clear top 7, I'd say, for Class 1A. A lot of teams returning a lot of firepower. I mean, the storyline's right itself in Class 1A. We knew that, Nick, going in.
Yeah, this is from the get-go when we saw how the classes and the teams going up and down, how that shook out. This has been instantly one of my favorite classes and the one I'm most excited to watch. Specifically, what I'm going to be looking for is Tri-Center. We've talked a lot about those top 3, top 5 teams, and Tri-Center being one of them. Won a state championship last year, go up a class and lose Carter Coonsey, who almost ran for 2,500 rushing yards last season. I still think that they've got a ton to work with here in their passing game. Obviously, AJ Harder, another guy we've talked plenty about last season, especially in the postseason. He's just a baller. I mean, 2,800 passing yards last season, 29 touchdowns. I think Tri-Center's gone absolutely nowhere but up. I love this team, and I think that they can still heavily compete for a title in this loaded 1A.
Yeah. First off, South Arden, we're aware. Main colors are
Yeah.
red. It is orange on the graphic. Please don't comment. I am aware. It will be fixed next time. I can promise you that. My apologies. There's a lot of orange on the logo, so I just think to click the orange right away. But no, I know that now looking at this. But now going into detail just a little bit more here, Nick, 5 of the top 10 teams come out of 2 districts. One district has Trainer, Tri-Center, and Underwood. There's your number 6, number 7, and number 9 team. And then you also have 2 teams in the top 3 in the same district in Grundy Center and South Hardin. So obviously in 1A, I mean, that's just take that for what you will. But a couple of districts bringing a lot of stacked teams there. And like I said, I think this top 7 is 7, 8, somewhere around there. Like this is a pretty clear top field in Class 1A. These are teams that brought back a lot and have a lot of hype, and that's without even talking about Regina Catholic, who returns a ton of all-staters from last year. They're going to be a ton of fun to watch. And before I move on, too, you got a couple of few teams that were below 500 last year. Ogden and Cascade, both below 500 last year, getting preseason top 16 nods. That's just an ode to how much they bring back last year and how excited our Class 1A ranker is to see them. So shout out to those guys getting some preseason love. Moving to Class A, interesting field here as well. Your top 16, this is how it is going to shake out. At number 8, I've always been a fan of Riverside, Oakland, specifically Jackson Gordon coming back for his senior year. This is one of the best running backs in the entire state. Probably doesn't get enough love, but he's back and ready for another monster year. You can expect him to be carrying the football a lot. Nick, what kind of sticks out in this initial top 16 in Class A?
Yeah, for me, it was a team that I really got familiar with during the basketball season, and that is Madrid Tigers. They had one of the best players in the class last season with Preston Wicker. He graduated last season, but as of I think just a couple weeks ago, Jevin Severson, phenomenal athlete in basketball, but also just became one of the best tight end recruits in the nation and one of the best overall recruits in the state of Iowa just recently. And he's just coming in for his sophomore season. So I'll definitely be looking at how Madrid can use such an elite piece like that. And, I think Jevin can be a fantastic player. I've seen this kid's athletic ability. And so I'll definitely be looking for Madrid to turn things up to another level. I think number 3 is a great spot for them. And I think they could potentially move up into those top 2 spots if they play their pieces right.
Yeah, I love it. I think a team I want to kind of make my claim in right now at number 10. That's a team that was 4-5 last year. Another team below 500 getting a top 16 nod. South of Winneshiek. This team returns seemingly everybody from a competitive squad last year. You got Braden Todd coming back at quarterback. Kyle Kubishek, great wrestling name, great wrestler, coming back at running back. Carson Streeter coming back at receiver. You return your top 6 tacklers. So that's a team I'm personally buying stock in right there at number 10, south of Winneshiek. Moving on, though, our final class, we've made it, Nick. 8-man is here. Obviously, the storylines at 8-man remain plentiful. This looks like a fun class this year yet again. What's kind of sticking out? First thoughts here.
Yeah, first thoughts. I'm going to be looking for how Remsen St. Mary's can respond to their perfect season, right? They went 13-0 last year.
I believe so, yeah.
And they lost some pretty significant pieces in that run. Landon Walschmidt, quarterback, who had 1,100 passing yards and 1,300 rushing yards. He graduated. They brought back, who was it? You told me a name earlier that I couldn't quite remember. You said that it was and I'm not seeing it. Sorry, I just blanked.
No, you're
But
good.
yeah, they lose Landon Walshmet, who is obviously one of the best players in the class, absolutely key essential player in their state title run. And number 13, that's kind of been the trend with the returning state champions falling below the top 10 in the preseason ranks. So I'll be watching for if the Hawks will be able to get themselves back into that top 10 state title contender spot.
Love it. I'm gonna go with the team right below them in Springville, the Orioles. You might not heard of them, but they're a team that also returns a lot back. And Mason Hoy is the guy to know there, the running back for them. He's back and ready to go. How about Gladbrook Rhinebeck too? You lose your quarterback Drew Ehlers, but you also return Trayvon Heron, Hudson Clark, and a plateau of other guys. They're gonna be fun to watch. And yeah, as you said, Remsen St. Mary's, you lose Mr. IAfootball in Class 8 man Landon Waldschmidt. You lose Colin Homan, the big tight end. I mean, they lost a huge senior class that gave them a lot of success. So I think number 13 is a good spot. If they keep winning, they're going to keep climbing. If they lose, I mean, it'll just be a descent outside the top 16. So that has been a kind of a theme. That's a good call there, kind of that 11 through 13 spot for those state champs that lose a ton. But there you have it, the 8-man rankings. These will be on our socials on Tuesday, but for now they're only going to be on YouTube, so you can share this video, share this link with people, and they can watch this here. But yeah, high school football season is around the corner. We're here. Nick and I are excited to bring more consistent episodes again. Every Monday will be our ranking show. It'll be me or Nick will join me for that. And every Thursday is the show you guys all seem to love to comment on. Locks and Dogs will be returning. We're excited to bring that back. Nick, anything else you got before we call this one a show?
I'm calling it. I'm gonna finally beat Kate at Locks and Dogs at the end of this season.
Yeah, we didn't keep track year one, so we can call that a wash. But last year I did get Nick. It's a fun game. Hey, you can play it at home too for the matter. So you can see if you can beat us. But now we're excited to be back. I'll be at practices this week. Again, shoot me a message. You want me out of practice? I can do what I can to get out there. But we're excited for high school football to be back. And we'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you tuning in.